everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm playing a game of 5 Parsecs from home. In the last video I rolled up my adversaries. They are 6 Soulless and a 7th Corporate Spook. I have rolled randomly off camera. They will start on that side. My guys will start on this side. The objective for this game is called a fight-off. It's basically last man standing. I'm going to be honest. This one could be tough. I've had probably at least a dozen of you email me and message me about this this game. You're calling it a bloodbath, and I agree. This one's hard, mainly because I'm up against some Soulless who are all like +2 combat, and their toughness is 5, which means you have to roll a 6 to really kill them. Yeah, very, very, very difficult. So I'm going into this not with the expectation of winning the scenario so much as surviving it. But my crew needs a reason to be here. And so what I've done is, because I'm going up against 6 robots and 1 human, the corporate spook, I've come up with this story that my crew has basically, this corporate spook has been messing with the captain for years and years, and it's all come to a head, and the captain has heard that he is going to be on this planet at this particular location, and we'd like to take him out. He has just been a thorn in our side. So, for this particular mission, one of the objectives, or one of the things I rolled, was that there was a tough character, or not a tough character, there was a special character that if you kill him, you get a bonus 1d3 credits. Normally, I would roll randomly for that, but I'm gonna just choose to give that to the spook. He is gonna become my target. But of course, he's well protected with these 6 somewhat bodyguards. The Soulless in the story of this game, they don't really care. They have their own objectives, and they're sort of cybernetic, half humanoid, half robots, and no one quite understands them. So this partnership between the corporate spook and the Soulless is probably something that involves tech. The corporation is providing tech to the Soulless in exchange for their service at times. And in this case, they're not quite bodyguards, but they're going to make my job more difficult. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I have 6 story points in this game. 6. I will be using those. Those can be used to re-roll things. They can be used to change the story. So I've already burned 1. I'm down to 5 now. I burned 1 to make that change that the corporate spook is my target. Okay, so that's a good use of a story point in my opinion. That means with the remaining 5, we'll see how this game plays out. My main goal obviously is to take the spook out and then to run. I realize that that's a failure of the mission, but in the captain's eyes, that will be that'll be a bonus if I can get rid of some of the Soulless. So before I get started, I want to tell you there are, and I'll have to find it. It's there's this thing called Stars of the Story or something along those lines, and basically what it is this game is very difficult. That's why it gives you story points so that you can sort of tweak the action a little bit and maybe survive. But on page 67, there's this thing called the Stars of the Story. There are 5 things that you can do once per campaign, not per campaign turn or combat, once for the whole crew to do. And one of these is called, Did You Ever Meet My Mate? Add a new character to your team immediately, even mid-battle. Place the model within 6 inches of any battlefield edge. They can act immediately. So, Red here, who is a crew member, he has a cousin who's purple. He has joined. He will have a colony rifle, that's it. And his stats are just like Red. So, he's got a low toughness, 2, combat of +1, His reaction is 1. So he's not all that great, but hey, that's 7 crew members now. Of course, I'm going to have to pay for that. Anytime you go over 6, you have to pay a credit for each additional crew member, I believe. So I'll be paying 2 credits per month or per turn to have 7. But maybe he will help me out here. So I'm going to burn that. And then there are some other things. There's one called Lucky Shot. If a character just missed a shot, turn it into a hit. I may very well use that. Looks worse than it is. Ignore a roll on the injury table. So if one of my characters gets taken out, I could maybe save them that way. We'll see how it goes. All right, so my crew, I really haven't set it up yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a real quick break. I'm going to get my crew. I'm going to look at the battlefield, figure out where I want to start. I know I have to start along this edge, and we will get started. So I'll be right back.
Want to see more playthrough videos from the Tabletop Engineer? Then join the Tabletop Engineer's Gaming Workshop Patreon. For just $2 per month, you'll get access to private games and playthrough videos, as well as early access to videos that appear on the Tabletop Engineer Plays YouTube channel. Games like D100 Space, Bug Hunt, Hero Quest, Core Space, and 5 Parsecs from Home. And more games are on their way like Malatom and 5 Leagues from the Borderlands. Patrons also get access to monthly live chats, crafting videos, mini painting videos, and more. See the video description for more information and a link to sign up. All right, time to go. I have decided to put my crew, I was going to split them at first, and then I've decided, no, I may need all of them to bug out fast. I want to survive to do another mission. So I've put them on this side. Why this side? Well, I've got this big structure here for cover. There's a bridge here which I can use to view this field if they should move in this way. It also keeps me close to the exit edge so I could get away if I need to. All right, so the first thing you do in a game like this is you do what's called the quick phase. I will be rolling 1 green die, or 1d6, for each of my crew members. I have 7, so I have 7 dice. And what I'm looking for is 1s and 2s to assign to them based on their reaction. Some of my crew have a reaction of 1, some have a reaction of 2. Okay, I got a single 1 and 2 2s. So I am going to assign these to move in the quick phase. My captain has a reaction of 1. I will give him a 1. My human with a shotgun who is red, he has a reaction of 2, so I'll give him a 2. And then my only other 2 is the robot and the red, but I'm going to give it to the robot. So they're going to be my first movers. So the captain has a speed of 5, and if you don't do any other action, you can take what's called a dash action, which adds 2 extra inches. So 7 inches in all for his movement. And I'm gonna use it. I'm going to get him all the way to right there, and his turn is done. And I'll mark him as moved with a 6. The robot has a movement of 4. 4 plus 2, and you can easily move through your friends. That will put him here, and then I'm going to move him 2 inches this way, and there he goes. And then lastly, I guess I could have moved them to the front, but I placed them the way I did, and I'm going to live with it. So he gets a 6, and red back here with the shotgun. The shotgun has a movement of 4, so he can also move 6, which puts him right here. Excuse me, and he is up there. All right, after the fast phase, it becomes the enemy phase. So the enemies have broken into two groups. They're tactical. Over here we have a specialist and 2 of the Soulless, along with the corporate spook. Over here we have 2 Soulless and the lieutenant. Lieutenant's pretty tough. He's got a +1 combat, and he was already combat +2. Now he's combat +3. So the way I'm going to play this, I've played a lot of games solo, and you know, sometimes you want to try to always play it like a true opponent. You know, you don't want to say, oh, they'll all run this way. No, I try to introduce some randomness to this, to sort of what would they decide, or what would I decide to do? And if I can come up with more than one option, I'll roll for it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll for the lieutenant. Now he's going to keep 2 Soulless with him, so whatever he does, they will do. And if I'm looking at the Soulless here, and I don't know, assuming I don't know where the other opponent is. I've got options. I could go up this stairs and try to get the high ground. I could go this way and stay in cover. And by the way, being tactical in nature, they always want to stay in cover, and they will always move only half their speed as long as they can stay in cover. They will only move their full if they can make their way to a dash. They can only dash if they can make their way into cover and they don't see somebody. If someone's in line of sight, an enemy, they will always try to stay in cover with a movement of 2. So right now, they don't see me. So the option is, if they go up the stairs, they're not going to be in cover anymore. That's a given. So I'm going to give that a 1 in 6 chance. The remaining chance is that they're going to move up, and the only way they can move up and stay in cover is to be in here. If they move out here, they could be spotted. So the lieutenant wants to stay in cover. Now, I could go this way, or I could go this way. So what I'll do is I'm going to roll a die. On a 1, they're going to take the stairs. On a 2, 3, 4, they're going to go this way, and on a 5 or 6, they'll go this way. On a 3, so they're going to go this way. So the lieutenant can move. The Soulless have a movement of, I know I wrote this down. I think they have a movement of 4. What did you do with it? They have a speed of 4, yes. Okay. So he will move. 4 plus 2 is 6. So doing a straight line, I'm going to move him through his opponents, or through his allies, 4. And then he'll go 2 this way. So he's not quite in cover, but he's moving to cover. And that will be how he moves. Now, over here, the specialist will take control of these 2 Soulless, and I'm going to have the spook moving on his own, and I'll explain that. The specialist has options. He can move towards here, underneath the bridge, or underneath the stairs for cover. He could try to move to the center, which, if he does, he's not going to be able to maintain cover. So I am going to go ahead, and being that the other option is they want to try and come at me from different sides. So to do that, they need to stay on this half, not knowing where I am. So they will move 6 inches towards this wall, which means he moves to right there, and these 2 will move and stay with him. Now, the corporate spook. The corporate spook does not know I'm here. All he knows is that he's on a mission and he's got these bodyguards. They're doing the job. They're doing the dirty work. I suspect what they're trying to do is raid these buildings for either supplies or just an attack. Who knows? I want the spook to sort of be Overwatch. He's going to be watching the action, trying to stay in cover so he doesn't get shot. What he's going to try to do is get to the roof and get into cover as fast as he can, so that he has a full scope. So he's going to move 4 and 2. He'll move 6 up against the bridge, up against the stairs, because in his next turn he's going to bolt up the stairs and try for cover. And that is the end of the enemy phase. So I come back over, and now it is the slow phase, which is basically everyone that didn't get to move in the fast phase, and that's the remaining 4. So all of them, let me double check. He is, the colony rifle has a movement of 4. Movement of 4. She has a movement of 4, and he has a movement. So all of them have 4. So 6 inches, they're all going to book it. Right there. First mate is right next to him. She's right here. And he will go right up here. All right, and that is the slow phase. Okay, after the slow phase, is the it's sort of like the cleanup phase, but there really isn't any cleanup to do. Let me get to the battle round. It's the end phase. So in the end phase, you just basically take the dice, and you know what I forgot to do was to do seize the initiative, but it's too late for that. So at the start of a battle, you roll 2d6, and if it's 10 or higher, you can take a normal move before the game begins, or you can shoot, but there was nothing to shoot at. So I forgot to do that, but that's okay. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to collect the dice, and we're going to go back to the fast phase, and I'm going to roll the 7 dice to see who can move. I got a single 1 and a single 2, and that is it. So again, I want to give the captain the 1, and the 2 will go to the robot. And on their turn, the captain, again, not knowing where they are, I want to try to get a view of here and also to cover my side. So the captain is going to try to get over here. He can move 6, which puts him right here. And he's watching. He sees nothing. And the robot will move 6. And he's going to move right here into cover on this corner. And that is all he can do. So we come back over here. All right. The lieutenant wanted to get to cover, so they're going to first finish that. So they're going to move 2 inches into cover, and that means they have a remaining 4 inches of movement. Now, they have options. They could go to the center here to try to get, you know, if you ever read any strategy on chess, one of the key elements of chess is control of the center of the board, which would be here. That's a game where all the figures have defined movement, defined distance, things like that. You know their moves. In a war game, it's not so easy. Holding the center is not necessarily the best thing, because you hold the center, you might get surrounded. You could get flanked. So the strategy here for the Soulless may not necessarily be to hold the center. It could just be watch the center. They, like I said, they're wanting to scout the area first, and then they will do whatever it is they're going to do. I'm here to stop them. So he has 2 options. He can move into cover here. He could move this way, going around. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll roll a red die for the enemy and see what he does. A 2. So he is going to move into cover. And I'm gonna shift this just to give some cover. He will move here, and he's still got some room, and he'll move, his 2 guards will move over, and that is it. So instead of moving, well, that's about 4 inches. So this one may have moved a little more, but that's okay. They're gonna stay with him. Now these guys, they wanted to get to this wall. So they're gonna finish their move 2 inches. They are on the wall, or at the wall, and they've got 4 inches of movement. Here, again, my same choices. I could go around this way, or I could go to the center. The problem I have here is if I'm playing, I don't want to put all my guys right here in the center. I would send them around, not knowing if I've got enemies coming around my backside. They'll be watching this edge, so I'm going to send them this way. So they can move 4 inches. So we'll just move them over here, and over here. And by the way, I totally mistook this. There's a ladder here, which is a much safer way to get to the roof. So I am going to, he was normally here. I would move him 6, which would put him here. Now he's closer to the ladder. I don't know if you'll be able to see that right here. So to get to the ladder, he would move 3 and 3. So 3 and 3, and he is on the roof. His next turn, he will try to get into cover, but right now he's exposed. But if you watched the roll-up for this game has a dreary weather. The range of visibility is 9 inches. You can't see beyond 9 inches. There's just the weather and the rain and the overcast makes it too difficult. So this is going to be one of those close combat games. I'm already in trouble because the spook is way up here and he's way out of range. If I want him, I may have to come all the way around. I don't know yet. And I don't know where he is. So it's sort of, I'm trying to play blind here, assuming that I don't know where he is. So the spook went up, and that is the enemy phase. So I come over here, and my remaining people will move up. First mate will move 6, so he's right here. He'll move 6, so he's right there. 6. They're all watching through here. Shotgun moves all the way up, and cousin moves all the way up. And that's it. So looking out, I see nothing. So we're still in that was the slow phase. So let me collect the dice, and it is now time for the fast phase roll. Fast phase roll, 5, 6, 7. I got a single 2. All right, that 2 I'm going to give to the robot. Actually, yeah, I'm going to give it to the robot. So the robot on his turn can move 4 plus 2 is 6. That's almost enough to get him healed. He's not quite in cover, but he's right here, and he is done. This game's moving very quickly. I'm not rolling well on the reaction rolls, but also because of the visibility, no one's seeing anybody. So it's all about positioning. Okay, the lieutenant here looks left, looks right. Cover is here. Not really though, because if any enemies are hidden over here, that I would do line of sight from over here and say this is not good cover. This is good cover. There's also a chance they could go back, knowing they're going this way. Maybe they'd choose to go this way. They're already in the center and they've already wasted a move here. What I probably will do is assign a greater chance that they'd move here into hiding than to come back over here. So what I'll do is I'll say that this over here to return is a 1 in 6 and this is a 5 in 6. So a 2 through 6 they'll move over here, and a 1 they will come back. I rolled a 6. So they are definitely heading, using all their movement to go over here into cover. Now, here's the question. If I look through here, my guys can see, but it's greater than 9 inches. So they don't see, there's just so much rain, they don't even see them getting up here. Let's come back to the, well, let's go ahead and move him. He will move into cover here. He's not going to put himself out in the center here. That would be, but he could go here and look over. So what he might do is get here, and what I would do is I would run here for 3, take a look, and then I would run back to 3 for cover to keep from getting shot. So he's up top, and then these guys are going to continue around. So they will move 4 and 2. And they're all just moving around the corner. They're looking and they don't see anything. And that is the enemy phase. So now the slow phase is all my other guys. They're looking through here. Now, the captain wants to stay, I want to stay near the battle edge. So going out here just seems like a death trap, especially if they are, I don't know if they're high, I don't know if they're hiding behind these walls. I'm going to keep skirting. So I'm going to move my full 6, which puts me right there. And everybody's following the captain. Not everybody. I'm going to leave 1 lookout. The robot has already moved. She is going to move here. Whoop, watching through the buildings. I'm going to have the cousin. Shotgun is going to stay right here. He's got a great weapon for cover, if anyone moves this way. I like that coverage, so he's going to stay in cover, peeking around. This one is going to move all the way up, and this one is going to move. Now that, if I move him here, that's really in the open. They're all running. It's all good. They're all running. They're just running, following the captain. Captain's going to tell these 2, stay here and guard our rear in case someone's coming up behind, and that is the slow phase. Let me get the dice. You know what I forgot to do? This was, let me do this. At the end of, this is turn number 3. That was turn number 3. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was the end of turn 3. At the end of turn 2, I was supposed to be tracking this. At the end of turn 2, I was supposed to roll for a random battlefield event, and it's on page 116. You roll a D100, so I'm going to roll a blue and a red. Blue is high, and this could hurt or help me. I rolled a 17. Seize the moment. Select a crew member who may act in both the quick and slow phase next round. So what I'm going to do is I will select him. I'm just going to say for round 3. So this one, I'm just going to get him a little further up. All right, now we are at turn number 4. That was turn number 3 I just finished. At the end of turn 4, I will also roll 1 additional battle event, and then after that, you don't do anymore. It's at the end of turn 2 and turn 4. So I rolled for turn 2, and I'll try to remember to roll for the end of turn 4. Let's see. Fast phase. 7 dice. I rolled a single 2. Man, I am rolling so badly today. The 2, I cannot give it to the captain. He has a reaction of 1. I can only give it to the red first mate and the robot. So I'm going to give it to the robot. I'm going to give it to my first mate. First mate. He can move. He's got a needler which fires 2 shots. He's going to move 2 inches. Well, he'll move 4. He's going to move 4. He looks. He sees nobody. He is going to go for the ladder. Well, not really. He's heading that way just for cover. And that is all I can do for the fast phase. Enemies. All right, let's start with the corporate spook. He runs over, looks, sees nothing, radios to the lieutenant. The left side, your left side is clear. This specialist confirms it. No targets in sight. So the question now is, would they continue moving this way or coming back? I know I can look behind me and see there's nothing visible over here. So I'm going to keep plodding forward, testing to see if there may be some over here. I'm going to try to get into cover. So I'm going to move my full 6, which is right here, right there, and right there. That's the specialist. Coming over here, the lieutenant. Okay. The lieutenant is confident that the left side is clear. He's got 2 lookouts, or the spook and the specialist. So his logic is telling him that we're over here, either behind here, or we've come this way, or we're coming behind. Now, the best thing for me to do, retreating is certainly an option. Pulling back into a further bit, because obviously the range of 9 is good. I would sort of want to wait and see what they find over here. So if I'm plugging forward and I trigger a fight over here, they're too far away to get to me. So I know where they are. They're radioing their position. I want them to get a little further up so we can possibly attack this side over here. So the only thing I can do is try to get into cover over here, and I think that's well within range. What'd you do with your? Let's see, 6 inches. Oh yeah. So they all run to cover. There's one of the Soulless is in front of the lieutenant to provide cover, and that is the end of their turn. So we come over here to fast phase. Again, 9 inches. I can't see. This is the worst kind of conditions for a battle. So knowing that I've got 2 lookouts, the robot is going to move into cover. Shotgun is going to stay here. They are going to guard this area and watch behind. Actually, what I may do is send him back. The captain orders him back to cover the rear. All right, so I've got my rear covered over here, got this area, and the rest of them are going to move up. 6 inches right here. He sees that it's clear. This one can move right up behind him, and she will move right there. And that is the end of the slow phase. It is now the end of turn 4, so I get 1 more event roll. The rule says that you can keep doing them. It says no additional events are rolled. In some cases, the 2 events can be incompatible. If so, discard the second. Use of this table is optional. You don't have to do it. So this will be my last roll. And I rolled a 17 again. Seize the moment. Select a crew member who may move and act in both the quick and slow phase. All right, this is actually not bad. Quick and slow phase. So it's like a double movement. The captain could get here in the quick phase. Well, I haven't rolled yet for it. Someone could get up here, and then in the slow phase, they could get somewhere else. But let's see what happens. Let's roll the 7 dice and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I rolled a single 1 and a single 2. I'm so bad at the rolls today. All right, I am almost out of time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these with 1 and 2, and in the next video, I'll pick up right where I left off. Again, I try to keep these videos under 30 minutes. I've had a lot of positive feedback about that, keeping them under an hour. I've also read a lot that says you're not supposed to have these really long videos. So these 30-minute videos seem to be working. And I know that it adds some anxiety because you want to know what happens. But trust me, it will only be a week, and I'll be back with the next episode, and it'll pick up right where I left off. Until then, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of 5 Parsecs from Home. I'll see you in a week. Everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.